Basic definitions and terms used in geotechnical engineering. Soil. Soil is composed of solid soil particles, air, and water. It is blended together to form a complex material. For studying purposes, it is easier to segregate soil into three components. For for easier understanding, better clarity, and convenience of calculation. The diagrammatic representation of the soil as solid particles, water, and air is called the three-phase diagram or the block diagram. So here you have the three-phase diagram. The top you have air, in the second layer is water, and the last layer is soil solid particles. So the typically the volume is written on the left side and weight is written on the right side. The volume of air is denoted as VA. Similarly, volume of water is denoted as VW. Together we'll have the volume of voids, which is represented as VV, and the volume of soil is represented as Vs. The total volume, that is Va plus Vw plus Vs, is represented as V. Similarly, the weight of air is represented as WA. Here WA is always equal to 0. The weight of water is represented as WW. We should note that the density of water, that is gamma W, will be equal to weight of water divided by the volume of water. So when you're calculating, if we have the weight of water, that is WW, you can easily calculate VW, that is we can obtain VW as WW divided by gamma W. Similarly, if we have the volume of water, we can easily calculate the weight of water, that is the weight of water will be equal to gamma W into VW. Similarly, the weight of solids is represented as WS. The total weight, that is WA plus WW plus WS, which is effectively WW plus WS, will be taken as capital W. Now this three-phase diagram can also be, in the three-phase diagram we can also have two-phase diagrams. The two-phase diagram is basically for dry soil. In the dry soil you do not have water, so you will have only two phases, that is air and soil. Similarly, for fully saturated soil, that is when the voids are completely filled with water, you will again have two phases, that is water as well as soil. Now again, in some countries, because of the presence of snow, there can be the fourth component will be snow, and therefore there can be a four-phase diagram. So the four-phase diagram comprises of air, water, snow, and soil. Now you'll have different terms, and you'll have this WW, you have this WS, you have this VA, you have this VW, etc. Now all this will form relationships between among, and you will get different terms. The first one is the void ratio. The void ratio is defined as the volume of voids to the volume of solids. It is denoted by the letter E. It is expressed as a decimal. It is seen that the volume of voids for coarse aggregate will be always less compared to the volume of voids in fine aggregate. Therefore, the void ratio will be less for coarse aggregate when compared to the fine aggregate. Also, there are chances that the void ratio can be greater than unity. For fine grained soil, there is a chance that E can be greater than 1. The next is porosity. Porosity is defined as the volume of voids to total volume. It is denoted by the letter N and is expressed in percentage. Now this porosity can never be greater than 100%, because that means that the volume of voids is greater than volume, which is absolutely absurd. Now there is a relationship between E and N, that is void ratio and porosity. Porosity N, which is, it will be equal to E divided by 1 plus E. You obtain that by we know that porosity n is equal to volume of voids divided by v, that is Vv divided by v, which is you can write it, which you can write as Vv divided by volume of solids plus volume of voids. Okay, now we know that E, that is the void ratio, is equal to volume of voids to the volume of solids. Now assume that Vs, that is the volume of soil, is equal to 1. Then the equation will be E is equal to Vv, that is E will be equal to volume of voids. Then putting it in the porosity equation, that is N is equal to Vv divided by Vs plus Vv, we can rewrite it as E divided by 1 plus E. So the relationship will be N is equal to E divided by 1 plus E. Now you should note that E, that is the void ratio, is mostly used in calculation purposes in engineering. This is because the denominator, that is in E, the denominator will be Vs, that is the volume of solids. It is because the volume of solids will be constant throughout the equations or throughout the calculations. While if you are taking N, that is the porosity, N here is defined as Vv divided by V, that is the denominator is the total volume. So this total volume can change during the total volume can change. So therefore for calculation purposes or in engineering, usually E, that is void ratio, is usually noted. Now coming to degree of saturation. Degree of saturation S is also can also be denoted as SR. S is equal to volume of water divided by volume of voids. It is usually expressed in 0%. For dry soil, the degree of saturation will be 0, while for fully saturated soil, the degree of saturation will be 100%. The next term is percentage air voids. Percentage air voids is denoted as Na and is equal to volume of air divided by the total volume. Similarly, you have the air content. Air content is denoted as AC, which is equal to the volume of air divided by the volume of voids. Now, the percentage air voids, that is Na, is equal to Va divided by V, right? That is volume of air divided by volume of total volume. Now, if we multiply the numerator and denominator by Vv, we can rewrite it as Va divided by Vv into Vv divided by V. That is Va divided by Vv is our air content, which is AC, and Vv divided by V, it is our porosity N. So the AC and Na can be related as Na is equal to porosity N into air content AC. Now the most important term is water content. The water content is defined as the weight of water in the soil divided by the weight of the soil solid particles. It is denoted by the letter W. Sometimes it is called the moisture content. So the water content or the moisture content can be denoted as small m also. It is generally seen that the water content for a fine grained soil is greater than that of a coarse grained soil, and greater than 100% is 100%, that is the water content can be greater than 100% for fine grained soil. The next term is bulk unit weight. The bulk unit weight is basically the total weight of the soil per unit volume. It is represented by gamma. Gamma is equal to total weight, that is W divided by total volume V. Now another term is dry unit weight. Dry unit weight is that when you have the soil mass, you are just taking the weight of the solid soil particles, that is Ws. So gamma D will be Ws divided by V, that is the weight of solids divided by the total volume. Similarly, you will have the saturated unit weight, that is the pores, that is in the pores of the soil you will have water. Then the weight of the soil mass is taken as W saturated. The gamma saturated, that is the saturated unit weight, will be equal to W saturated divided by volume of the soil. Now you have another term, the submerged unit weight. Submerged unit weight is given by gamma sub is equal to W sub divided by V. Now the W sub is the submerged weight of the soil mass. Gamma sub is also denoted as gamma dash. Now let's say that let's say that the soil is below water level. Now this soil will be acted upon by an upward buoyant force. Now this buoyant force will be equal to the weight of water displaced by soils, that is the solid soils. So U, or the buoyant force, can be taken as gamma W into Vs, where Vs is the volume of soil. Right? U is equal to gamma W into Vs because buoyant force is the weight of water displaced by that volume of soil solids. Now the W submerged, that is the weight of the submerged soil, is equal to Ws, that is the weight of the the weight of the solids minus the buoyant force. Alright, it can be rewritten as Vs into gamma W into G minus Vs into gamma W. If we rewrite is, we will get gamma submerged is equal to Vs into gamma W into G minus 1 divided by V, where G is the specific gravity of the soil. The specific gravity we will describe the term in the coming slides. Also, it is seen that gamma submerged is equal to gamma saturated minus gamma W. Gamma W is the unit weight of the water. Now, unit weight of solids, before you had the dry unit weight, submerged unit weight, saturated unit weight, etc. So now you will be having the unit weight of solids. Unit weight of solid is expressed as gamma S is equal to Ws divided by Vs. That is, you are only taking the solid soil particles. So gamma S is equal to the weight of the solids divided by the volume of solids. Now you should keep in mind that gamma, which is unit weight, is equal to rho into G, where rho is the mass density. Now coming to the specific gravity of solids. The specific gravity of solids is defined as the weight of given volume of solids to the weight of equal volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. That is, G is equal to gamma S divided by gamma W. Here you can calculate G in terms of gamma, because you know that gamma is equal to weight per volume, right? Weight per volume. So therefore you can represent G in terms of unit weights. Again, G is equal to unit weight of solids divided by the unit weight of water. You can also obtain G as the mass density of the solids divided by mass density of water. This is because gamma is equal to rho G. Please keep that in mind. Now because of that, you can define specific gravity in terms of mass also. That is, specific gravity is the mass of the given volume of solids to the mass of an equal volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Now the specific gravity of natural soil will be between 2.65 to 2.8, and generally the coarse aggregate soil will be the lower values, while the fine aggregate will be the higher values. Now the specific gravity is used to determine the void ratio as well as particle size in the calculation purposes. You have another term called the mass specific gravity. So earlier you had the specific gravity, that is G is equal to gamma S divided by gamma W, or you have the rho S divided by rho W. So here the mass specific gravity Gm is equal to rho divided by rho W, where rho is the mass density of the soil as a whole. Alright. So Gm is equal to is the ratio of the mass density of the soil as a whole divided by the mass density of water. Or you can define Gm as the ratio of unit weight of soil to unit weight of water, that is gamma divided by gamma W. You have another term called the absolute specific gravity. Very rarely we use that. It is denoted by the letter Ga. Ga is equal to rho SA divided by rho W. Here you are only taking the mass density of the solid particles only. That is, as I said, the soil is composed of solid soil particles plus water plus air. So when you are taking this absolute specific gravity, you are taking the mass density of only the solid part of the soil. That is, you are not you are avoiding the voids completely. Alright. And the relationships are gamma is equal to G plus SC divided by 1 plus E the whole into gamma W. Then you have gamma D is equal to G gamma W divided by 1 plus E. This gamma D is equal to G into gamma W divided by 1 plus E can be obtained as the saturation, that is the degree of saturation, S is equal to 0. Alright. Now when it is fully saturated, when S is equal to 1, you can rewrite the first equation as G plus E divided by 1 plus E the whole into gamma W. Again you have the gamma submerged as gamma saturated minus gamma W. So when you are substituting it in the equations, you will be getting G minus 1 divided by 1 plus E the whole into gamma W. And the relationship is SA is equal to WG, and another important equation is gamma D, that is the dry density is equal to gamma divided by 1 plus W. We will go into the relationships, the earlier relationship that I mentioned in the future video. Till then, stay blessed. Thank you.